Alright guys, hope you're all doing well, hope you're all keeping safe, hopefully you all had a good weekend as well, and hopefully you're ready for this week's, I just said hopefully 4 times in that little intro there, hopefully you're all ready for this week's State of the Game, which hasn't been confirmed yet, but surely the devs have to go on this week, because Codename Nightmare and TD3 go live next Tuesday. So this will kind of be the last opportunity for them to confirm exactly what is coming, and of course talk about the Resident Evil collaboration. Hopefully the concerns of the community about the future of the franchise is addressed as well, but as I've said before, I'm not holding my breath. However, there have been some more signs, and if you can see me, I'm kind of doing the hand signs things for inverted commas, but there's been some things recently that you could speculate further supports the involvement of Redstorm in the Division franchise again, whether that be for a year 3 or a third game, we don't know, and it comes from a Ubisoft representative, which gives it a bit more reach, I think, and it's why I wanted to cover it in today's video. Hopefully you enjoy this one, guys. I do love speculation videos. Drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the videos, and let's begin. Firstly, guys, what do you think about the Resident Evil and the Division 2 collaboration for this apparel event for Codename Nightmare? What do you think of the trailer? Leave it down in the comments below. Like I said in my reaction to that trailer last week, I was conflicted, and I still am, to be honest. I had a little bit of a kind of a think just to see if my confliction, I don't even know if that's a word, would change, but to be honest, it hasn't. I may do a follow-up video to that at some point, but honestly, I just don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Alright, so I've previously speculated on Redstorm being involved with the Division franchise again, as have a lot of people at this point. It was about 9 months ago that Terry Spire, the creative director at Redstorm, I think he was creative director at that time as well. I don't think that's a new position for him. He put this out on Twitter following an increased pressure from the community about their involvement in the Division 2's franchise, or the Division franchise, because PvP had not been updated at all. It felt like it had been abandoned, and it had. If you look back, Terry does say working on other things for a while, which probably means nothing, but if you really wanted to look into that, you might say while he's working on things for a while, and the reason he's put that is because he might be coming back. And I'd say that probably the first and probably the biggest clue that we've had about Redstorm coming back is when the official Redstorm Twitter banner was changed to the rogue symbol. This happened about 2 months ago at this point. And again, whilst this could mean absolutely nothing at all, of course, it does seem unlikely they would have changed their banner to something they are no longer involved with. With that said, it could just be they love the symbol, and that's it. That's absolutely could be the case. Again, this is all speculation, but this is probably the only thing that plenty of people have pointed at as being one of the biggest clues Redstorm might be back. Now, since then, I've been scouring Twitter, Reddit, Ubisoft forums, and every place possible for any further indications that Redstorm are back. I tell you what, guys, I love it. I love this kind of like almost putting this detective hat on and just trying to find some stuff. Now, until recently, I'd not found anything, not an ounce of anything, not even something I could even speculate about until now. And it actually comes from a community representative for Ubisoft who responded to my video on January 20th via Twitter. That video was titled "The Division 2 No News, No State of the Game Today, What Massive Should Have Said, Year 3 and Beyond." And in that video, as the title suggests, for anyone who didn't see it, I basically talked about what the devs should have said on State of the Game last Wednesday, but instead, we got silence, and even now, as of me doing this video, we still don't have any confirmed date for the next stream. And so we're very much in the same position. Now, in response to that video being posted on Twitter, UB Shelley responded saying, "Do not stress so much, information will come soon, winky face." Of course, this does mean nothing at all. But when looking for clues to Redstorm, I thought it might be a good idea to put my detective hat on and check out this person's Twitter page. And so I checked their recent replies, and I did find something that I think is pretty revealing. So on January 19th, Paul Tassi, writer for Forbes, released this article titled "A Eulogy for the Division with Star Wars in the Way." I believe it was his second article on the whole thing about the Division and Star Wars. And I have to admit, guys, this particular one, it's a bit premature, to be honest, because there's been no official communication about the end of the Division, and in fact there's more evidence to the contrary at this point. But with the news of Star Wars, I can see why many, including Paul Tassi, might feel this way and why he put out this article. Well, Ubisoft actually responded to this on Twitter saying, well written, Paul Tassi, let's see what Red Storm makes of it. Winky face. I think they like their winky faces, but it's that part. Let's see what Red Storm makes of it. Now, I'm not mad here, am I? Because doesn't this all but confirm, in a kind of roundabout way, that Red Storm maybe have something to say about this article, meaning they are probably working on the game still? You know, a eulogy is normally a tribute to something that has ended, and that's how Paul Tassi wrote this article, which is why this comment from Ubisoft is so intriguing, to be honest. And I've got to admit, this is perhaps the most revealing thing we've seen to speculate about Red Storm's return, mainly because it comes from a community representative for Ubisoft, and it makes sense that Red Storm would be brought in for Year 3 as well. I've said this before, guys, and I'm confident there is a Year 3 coming. The contents, I'm not sure, but I think his name is Dadefue. I've definitely said that wrong. Dadefuye, fellow content creator who covers general gaming stuff but does focus on the Division and does have a history of being correct with leaks, actually said the following. I believe it was on a community post. For those who need news in terms of the Division franchise or the branch and story, I'll make it simple. This year, the agenda is to rebuild community trust, create a beautiful image, and make the Division fan base have faith once again. There's a lot of NDA stuff going on, but just don't go too deep into the hype coming in a matter of weeks and days. What is coming will come. Just keep in mind that they are all the same company you love and hate, Keep that in mind as you reach for your wallets. Now, as I said before, Dadefue, I'm just going to say that. I apologize if that's not how you say his name, but I'm going to go with Dadefue. That's how I'm going to say it. He speculated before about the Division 3 possibly coming in the next couple of years. I think that video in particular he talked about that. Talked about Red Storm coming in for Year 3 for the Division 2. And he talked about the Division 3 kind of having like an open world where you can choose whether you want it to be PvE or PvEVP and just general stuff. And he was always saying that he kind of has an inside man. And if that's the case, then this particular post is intriguing. Now, as I will say with anything, I would take this with a pinch of salt, and I'd say the same for anything that I talk about which hasn't been confirmed. But this comment in particular is intriguing because I'm actually like 90% sure the whole NDA thing that he's talking about is actually very true. I can't be sure, but I've seen things that would again definitely point towards something like that going on in the background. And I suspect, like Warlords of New York, we will learn about what's to come about with Year 3 in about, I would say, about 2 weeks before the end of Season 4. So you're probably looking in the next kind of 4 weeks or so. And what that will be, we don't know. It might just be new seasons. But what I think it is another expansion. That's what I think will happen at the end of Season 4. Now, aside from that, guys, I don't have anything else at this point. But you can be sure that should I find anything further, I will let you guys know. What I will say is I'm sure the devs aren't the biggest fans of speculation videos in general. Because, they can fuel people to react in a certain way. Like, if I speculate there's nothing coming and I provide little tidbits of information which I can correlate here and there or whatever, and I was to say there's nothing coming, then people may watch that video and they may feel like there isn't, and then they may feel like sharing their disappointment with the devs in the forums or on Twitter or whatever, when in fact the devs do have something coming. So I'm sure that would annoy them. And likewise the opposite, when I'm fueling videos like this one where I'm speculating that there is something coming and then there's not, and that disappointment's even more overwhelming. I'm sure the devs don't like that. But the thing is, all of this can be avoided if the devs just acknowledge our concerns and communicate with us. And so let's just hope that Wednesday does that. I've got my fingers crossed. But thanks for watching, guys. If you did stick around all the way to the end here, then I really do appreciate it. It really does help me out. Tomorrow I'm going to have my weekly vendor reset video. Then Wednesday, the big one. Hopefully, if anything else does come up in the meantime, then it's quite possible that I do a Tuesday evening video. So tomorrow evening video. But it's unlikely. So weekly vendor followed by State of the Game on Wednesday is the plan. Until the next one, guys. Epic out.